I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. The show that we're doing tonight is a show that covers all of the sun sign predictions for the whole year. And so if you've been looking at my newly resurrected website, starborninstitute.org, which is up and working now, you would know that the title of tonight's show is Starting Over. And that is because this is a year of opportunity, and everyone is going to have a wonderful chance to start over doing something that perhaps they liked when they were younger, because Jupiter will be in Gemini, which rules early childhood. Or it can be that they're starting over because they've been through a period of stress or of adjustment in one way or another, and they've recovered from that, and they're willing now to go ahead and start over in a new way. And it wouldn't be going exactly back to things, because we all change with time. And so even if you are contemplating a new partnership, even if one has failed in the past, but you're contemplating a new one this year, well, that's a good idea, because there's 2 eclipses in Libra which rule partnership. So that's well aspected. But it could be that you're wanting to take advantage of new opportunities, and now you could be a little older, or a little wiser, or a little more patient, or a little more ready to go ahead with things with a lot of enthusiasm, and perhaps a new partner to help you with that. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So it simply means that in time, our priorities change. But that doesn't mean that we still can't go back and start something over that we really did like, even if it went wrong, or even if it failed the first time. Maybe you'd just like to go back and do something that you really love. And that would be, or be with someone you really love. That would be a good idea this year, and you would be well aspected for success. And so it's okay if our priorities change. It's okay if we try to do something in a way that is more pleasing to us now, in this time of our development. So whether you're young or old, no matter what age you are, I would sure give something another try this year, because I think you'll be successful. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. For you, what it means is that you are going to be able to make some sort of new beginning in April, when there is a solar eclipse in your sign. So you will advance this year, Aries, but it's not a straight shot. And the reason why is the eclipse in April in your sign is it can be a little bit dangerous in one way or another. Not necessarily dangerous to you, Aries, but for instance, if you were contemplating trying something new, or starting over with something old, that would be fine. Could be an old idea that you had that you never quite got off the ground. Well, yes, you could do that, but it isn't going to be a straight shot. There's going to be times this year, Aries, when you're going to have to be very cautious. And so even though the solar eclipse in April is in your sign, which does give you a green light to go forward, Aries, particularly on something you've always wanted to do, hey, why not? It simply means, though, that there is also a lunar eclipse in Libra in the spring that will oppose your sun. So there could be a change in a partnership, or there could be a change in some sort of legal contract. Maybe the terms have to be redone in some way. That's simply possible. And since I think you're going to have a pretty good summer, and you are going to be able, particularly by May, when, if you were cautious in April, even though you're making a new start, I would say that in May, there will be more money to help you with that new start. You might want to wait for that. So there's nothing wrong with being cautious in the spring. However, in the fall, when there is a solar eclipse in Libra, which will oppose your sun, it simply means that there may not be enough money around by the fall to do everything that you want. And you may have to sort of practice patience and wait a little bit, either for more money or for something that you want to have go forward, including a new partnership, but there can be extenuating circumstances that you have to sort of wait on at that time, Or it could be that the fall is when you decide maybe to change partners or form a new partnership, and it may not be quite as easy as you think, or there may not be as much money there as you were anticipating. So I think that even though you're gonna have good news about money in the spring, I would say by the fall you're going to have to save more money, Aries, believe it or not. So don't go on a spending spree in the fall. Just make sure you're saving more so that you can make it through the whole year and be happy by the end of it. And that's entirely possible. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus, you have probably the best new moon in your sign this May that you will ever have. And that is because there's so many good planets there. The Sun, the exalted moon, Venus, your own ruler, Jupiter, and Uranus will all be in your sign under the new moon then. And so Taurus, I'm going to urge you to do something that in a way it may sound at first like it doesn't make sense, but believe me, it will pay off. It will pay off eventually. It'll pay off down the road. And the whole time that you do it, you'll be very happy. And why is that? Because I'm going to urge you this year, Taurus, to do what you love. And it doesn't matter if it's a career choice or if it's just a great idea that you've always had, or if it's just something that you've always loved doing. Well, then keep doing it, Taurus. Because eventually it's going to be tremendously successful. It may not be. I think there's money coming to you in May as well. And so I think you're going to be able to do what you love. But it can't be your second choice. It has to be your first choice. It has to just be what you would really love doing. And so you're not doing it for the money. I know that sounds strange, Taurus, because yours is a fixed financial sign, but you would be doing it for the love of doing it. And that eventually is going to make you very financially secure. But that isn't why. Taurus is a hard worker. The reason why you'll make money at it eventually is because you will work very hard at it because you love it. And so I'm going to suggest that you do that because you couldn't be under better aspects by your birthday than the new moon in your sign. It's a one in a million type of new moons for you. And you need to follow your heart and do what you love. And this is a time, remember, when we're all starting over. So this is a time when you should do what you love, and you don't need to worry about a time schedule, or you don't need to worry about what you're supposed to be doing at a certain age. All you have to think about is what you really love and go for it. Because eventually it will be very financially successful. But that isn't why you'll be so happy. You'll be happy because you're doing what you love. And you probably, if you stick to that simple recipe for success, you will be successful, Taurus. And perhaps for the rest of your life. I mean, it's a life decision you're going to be making if you do what you love. And it doesn't have to make money in the beginning. It's going to make it in the end, though. And I think you will be able to afford it. But the most important thing is that you do what will make you happy. And the stars are with you, Taurus. I wouldn't be urging you to do this if I didn't think it was going to be perfect for you. I mean, I don't know what it is that you love, but I know the timing is right for you to go for it. And it isn't that you have to meet anyone else's expectations. You just have to say, okay, time out, I want to do what I love. And that will be exactly the right choice for you. And probably for your loved ones as well. Because I think when Taurus is the sign of the good provider. And when they're happy, then everyone's going to be happy. So think about it that way. And good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. Your life really expands this year, Gemini, because Jupiter is coming into your sign, and it will be in your sun sign for a whole year from this summer until the summer of 2025. And so you really are going to expand and probably do it with new partners or by doing something that is part-time or temporary. It doesn't have to go on forever. But oh boy, the February new moon in Aquarius is going to trine your sun. That'll be great. And so it's a time when this year, when you are going to be able to attract very influential people or powerful people to you who really like your style, Gemini. And so I think that this is a time when you should take advantage of the friendships, the new friendships or the associations that you're making, and participate with people that perhaps you haven't met or participated with in the past, but they're going to be around this year for you and next year, Gemini. And if you're rubbing elbows with them, get to know them, because you have nothing to fear and everything to gain. And the reason why is they like your style, or they wouldn't be there. So just having them around you is something that should give you a vote of confidence. And then you can go ahead and express your own ideas and the way that you communicate. You're going to be very gifted at communicating throughout this year and most of next year. And that's because you're already good at it. But you're really going to be saying the right things at the right time. And you're going to have a wonderful summer, Gemini. You probably will be making short trips. You'll be meeting younger people. You will be enjoying yourself in ways that you might have enjoyed when you were younger. Everybody is. Gemini rules early childhood education. So a lot of people, particularly those who are older but young at heart, can be going back to things they enjoyed or lessons they learned when they were younger. And with that background and teaching that is already taking place or learning, you could be starting over in some way, in fact in two ways this year, Gemini, particularly in the second half of the year, because both Libra eclipses trine your sun. Pluto's coming into Aquarius. It's going to be trining your sun, and Jupiter's going to be in your sun sign. You have to look at this year as, for all of us, we should be starting over in one way or another. It doesn't mean that you're going back to the past. It means that you've learned things from the past, and now you've changed and evolved, and you may be ready to start over with something that you always wanted to do, and it's going to be better now because you've changed and grown. And so you're going to be successful this year. You're going to have a great summer. You could be participating in a very wonderful new partnership by this fall. You could learn about it or be thinking about it before the fall, but no later than the Libra solar eclipse that occurs in October, which will be really wonderful for you. And so you end the year on a new level of happiness, Gemini, and it's going to be easy. It involves easy things that you're already good at. So don't deny yourself the pleasure of starting over and doing things that you would really like doing, because you're going to enjoy them. And the nice thing about it is you're going to be pleasing sort of powerful people that really like your style. And maybe you're going to represent a fresh voice to them, and maybe this is a time when they need it. And so, there's a nice reciprocity there, a nice exchange, a way of you feeling good and making others feel good too. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Cancer. Cancer, you are at a turning point this year. And I think that is going to be fine with you, because all of us are starting over in one way or another. And so this is a time that you can be at a turning point, because 3 of the 4 eclipses that occurred this year square your sun. And so there's 2 eclipses in Libra. They'll both square your sun. And so there can be a change in partnerships. Maybe some partnership ends, but another begins. And there can also be a change in legal or contract terms. And you would have to be careful with those. But also there is, in the spring, in April, there is a solar eclipse in Aries, and that too squares your sun. So you'll be facing challenges this year, Cancer, but why not? I mean, that's how we get ahead. That's how we change and grow. It's when we meet a challenge, that's when we decide, okay, do I like this or not? And if you don't like something, you can change. And that will be great. You're going to have a pretty good birthday. And I think that you are going to really be enjoying summer fun. I think everybody's going to have a good summer this year, simply because Jupiter will be in Gemini. And it goes in on May 26th, so it'll start in June, and it will be in Gemini until next June in 2025. Well, Gemini is right behind your sun sign, Cancer, and that's a very good place to have Jupiter. It means that some people who you had always thought might have been competitors of yours or enemies of yours, you're going to have a lot of protection from them. They're not going to be able to hurt you the way they hurt you in the past. Jupiter right behind anybody's sun sign or in the 12th house of their chart is an indication of few, if any, enemies. So you may not have the enemies that you've had in the past, Cancer, or the things, the roadblocks that had stopped you before. They may not be around anymore this year, and that would be great. But still, by the November new moon in Scorpio, when Mars will be at 29 degrees in your sign, exactly opposing Pluto in Capricorn, also at the 29th degree of fate, something is finished for you, Cancer. It could be any time this year, but certainly by then. And the thing that is good about that is that the past is finished. And you will be starting over. And you will be so relieved that you will be on the road to happiness when something really does get finished, because you're finished with it. Cancers are very nice people. I mean, they don't like to hurt people's feelings or anything, and they get their feelings hurt very easily. They have tender feelings because Cancer rules our emotions. But still, there is something that it's really time to end, and it will. It'll be finished, and that will put you on the road to happiness, Cancer. It's going to be just fine. So you are at a turning point, but it's not. You're not going to turn down. You're not even going to turn sideways. You're going to go up, Cancer. It's going to be fine. And every time that you're challenged, that'll just help you grow. That'll just help you start over. And that's what this year is all about. And Cancer, if you like numbers, I'm not a Cancer, but I like numbers. Think about the year 2024. 2 plus 0 is 2, and then plus 2 equals 4, plus another 4 equals 8. So 2024 adds up to the number 8, or reduces to the number 8. 8 is the number of Scorpio. It is the number of success. That is why a lot of people who decide they want to start over, not by going back to the past, but by realizing they've grown and changed. And they can still be successful, but this time they're going to do it in a new way. And you can too, Cancer, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo. This is a time, Leo, when I think that you are going to be able to happily anticipate some sort of new beginning this spring under the solar eclipse in Aries. But it's a powerful eclipse, and it does denote a new beginning, and it does trine your sun, Leo, which is great. But there are extenuating circumstances under that solar eclipse in Aries, and yes, it denotes a new beginning, but I would say the month is fraught with the possibility of danger, and it would be wise of you, Leo, not to rush too quickly into something, but instead be very cautious, because there could be something unexpected, particularly an unexpected change that you had not been anticipating that could happen. And so, Leo, you need to be prepared for that. In May, there will be some good news about money, and you're probably going to need that good news by May, Leo, because Leo rules extravagance. So you could have your eye on something that's pretty high priced around that time, and your budget might not stretch far enough. Even with getting a little bit more money in May, it can simply be that since your sign rules high-priced things and extravagant things, you may have to wait a little while before you actually have enough money to go ahead with something. So that could be a little bit delayed in the spring, but as time goes on, if you are prudent in your budget and just enjoy a lot of summer fun, and Leos love summer fun, that is not too expensive, then you may be able to have enough money by fall to really go forward with something that you've got your eye on or something that you want to do, which would be great. But everyone is going to have something finished off this year, and you will too, Leo, because that new moon in Scorpio on November 1st squares your sun. So I would say that you should go forward with something new this year. Why not? There's a solar eclipse surrounding your sun. I'd go for it, Leo. But at the same time, maybe you should throttle back and not be quite so speedy, and realize that it would pay you to put away a little something for a rainy day, just in case a change occurs that you are not expecting. It may not be a change to you, Leo. There could be a change that is happening around you, not necessarily to you. But if that's happening, you might want to just sort of go slow or not overreact to things. Just sort of keep it cool, and that way you can more or less get through the year. And you have the ability to start something new, even with a partner this spring, but you could also do it in the fall. And in the fall, even though you would have money in the spring, if you spend it before the fall comes, then you're going to have to save more money in the fall as well. But you can still be successful this year, Leo. You just can't do it at top speed, or you can't do it at warp speed. And if you realize that, and you go a little bit slower, you're going to be okay. You'll be just fine. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo, right at the start of the year, right now, you could have your mind on business, because we just had a new moon in Capricorn last week, and it trined your sun. In fact, 6 planets were trining your sun last week. So you may be facing grim reality right now, Virgo, and that is a pretty good way to start the year. You may as well sort of know what you're really looking at, or what your problems are, and perhaps how to solve them. Or you could be understanding that some problems no one person can solve. Sometimes our problems are due to extenuating circumstances in the world that we don't even create. We didn't create high interest rates. We didn't create inflation, but they're there. And so we have to react to them. And so, Virgo, I think that in the fall, there is a lunar eclipse in Pisces that opposes your sun, but it is a rather good lunar eclipse in Pisces. And for you, Virgo, I think what it means is that some past pain of yours is able to heal by the fall. And that will be very good for you, and it will help you put you on the road to happiness for the rest of the year. And so there can be some private pain that you have endured in recently, or within the last year, and I think that it will ease, or there will be a solution to a problem around your birthday, Virgo, and that will sort of be like a cloud lifting in your life, and that will be really good for you. And you know, I don't think you're going to be having to do anything about it. I think that it's the timing of it. Somewhere around your birthday, past pain is going to finally heal. It may not heal completely, but it's going to be going that way. And you will be able to sort of pick yourself up and go on and be happier. And that will be good for you, Virgo, because not everything is math, or not everything is dollars and cents. Sometimes our hearts break, and it takes a little while for the heart to recover. But it will, Virgo. You're going to be okay later on in the fall. And it could be a private pain of yours that maybe you haven't spoken about to people because maybe it hurt so much you couldn't say anything. But it'll heal, and you'll be back on the road to happiness around your birthday, and then you'll be able to keep going. So, congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Oh, Libra. Well, this is your year, Libra. There's 2 eclipses in your sign. The first one is a lunar eclipse this spring, and so it simply means under a lunar eclipse that one woman goes and another woman comes, and yours is the sign of partnership. So it can be that if you have ended a friendship or a partnership, and it could be innocently, it could be because a coworker moves, or it could be because your employer lays off people. In other words, you lose touch with people. But on the other hand, you could also, under a lunar eclipse, another woman comes. You could make new friends, Libra, and you could be rather happy about that this spring. And in fact, you could start making new friends anytime now, which would be great, particularly under the next new moon we're having, which is in February in Aquarius, because it'll trine your sun. And Jupiter is going into Gemini on May 26th, so from June this year to June next year, it will be continually trining your sun, Libra. And first of all, you're going to have a ton of fun this summer. And it might be with younger people, or it might be doing things you did when you were a kid. I mean, the whole world is going to lighten up a little bit just because it wants to. And a lot of people can be doing things this summer that don't cost a lot of money, but they can be a ton of fun. And you could be involved in that, Libra. Even if you were, say, painting your house, and you would think, oh, that's a terrible chore. But it might be fun if some other people joined you and helped you out, and there was a potluck dinner, or there was fun afterwards. Do you see what I mean? People can make their own fun this year, and it doesn't even have to cost much. And so I think you're going to be involved in that, and very involved with young people this year, or with things that young people do. And no matter what age you are, Libra, you could be jumping right in and joining them. So that would be great. The solar eclipse in April is in Aries, and that is going to oppose your sun. And so that definitely would indicate a change in a partnership, and it could simply be that either a legal contract or a partnership is changing and perhaps ending, or it can be that it could happen to your employer, and therefore it could affect you, something like that. So you may not be on the winning end of something by the time of the solar eclipse in Aries, which opposes your sun, Libra, even though right before that there was a lunar eclipse in your sign. So this whole idea of starting over is timely this year. We're all going to have to do that in one way or another. And I think that if we realize how much we've changed, and how much we've grown, and how much we've learned from our past mistakes, then I think starting over at anything is going to be successful. 2024 adds up to 8, the number of success. This is a year to start over and give something a try. Not by going back to the past, and not by going back to any past mistakes either, but, realizing that you've changed and grown and you're ready for new things. And you really are, Libra. You're going to go forward this year. You will form a new partnership sometime this year, and it's going to work out fine. And I think that the solar eclipse in your sign in October is a real winner for you, Libra. You're going to be further along than you think by then, and there could be a real blessing coming your way under that solar eclipse in October. And it might be a time when you quietly reflect on how lucky you are. And it might be because you have a new partner. It might be because there's some legal contract that is finally, or some legal settlement that's finally working out well. That would be great, because by the new moon on November 1st, which is in Scorpio, something is over. Something's finished. And Libra, I think you're going to be just fine with that. Most people will be just fine with that. And so that's pretty nice for you too. You're going to be on the road to happiness. Just remember that it isn't all a bed of roses. There will be challenges. But I think that you can end up a big winner this year, Libra. Particularly if you start over. And you don't have to go back to the past, but you can take the lessons you've learned from the past and apply them towards somebody or something new this year and be successful at that. You can. So don't wait, Libra. Whatever you're thinking about, do it this year. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Oh, Scorpio. Well, just like every other water sign, by November 1st, when there is a new moon in your sign, Scorpio, something is finished. Now, this is not going to break your heart at all, Scorpio. In fact, you're going to be relieved. You're going to think, oh, finally. And so I think that that will work out pretty well. I don't know what will be finished, but something will be. And it will be something that had been weighing you down or holding you back or causing you pain. And that's what's going to be finished. So you have a lot to look forward to. And that is because, Scorpio, this is a year when I think that you more or less come into your own. And by that I mean that you're going to be able to start over. And it may be in more than one direction. It may be in a career choice that you're making. It may be an idea that you've had for a long time, and maybe this is the year you decide, hey, I'm gonna follow that and do it. Well, why not? The timing would be good. And also, this is a year when you too can be taking on partners. And the reason why is that there's 2 eclipses in Libra, and they're both right behind your sun, Scorpio. So there's going to be new partnerships in the background of your life this year. And the spring eclipse in Libra is a lunar one, meaning that one woman goes and another woman comes. It doesn't have to happen right at the same time, but that's an indication that if you move on from one friendship, there will be another one, a nice one, so that's fine. And then the Libra solar eclipse in the fall is right behind your sun sign, which means there really is going to be a new beginning for you behind the scenes, Scorpio, and it could involve a partnership. It could be a business partnership, or it could be a personal partnership, but it will be a very amicable, very, it's going to be fine. And it may make you happier than you realize. You may be pleasantly surprised at how happy that makes you. Because Scorpios are a little bit quiet sometimes about their deepest feelings. So you could be pleasantly surprised after that solar eclipse in Libra in October. And then right along with that, the next new moon on November 1st in your sign indicates something is finished. But I think you're going to have a big smile on your face when you realize that, that's okay. Because you'll be starting over this year, Scorpio. And it is with a long-held dream or desire that you have had. And for one reason or other, it wasn't possible before. But this year it is. So I hope you go for it. Saturn and Neptune and Pisces are going to be trining your sun. And that's going to give you a tremendous amount of insight and help and staying power. Saturn represents staying power. And so if you take on something hard this year, or you decide to do something that improves your life in some way and that helps you start over, you're going to keep it up. You're going to be successful. I didn't say it was going to be easy, but you will be successful. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, definitely your life is going to be changing, and you could be getting some very good news by the time of the April solar eclipse, which is in Aries and which does trine your sun, Sagittarius. That would be good. So good news coming to you this spring, and that would be nice. But sometime over the summer, and certainly by the time of the Leo new moon, which also trines your sun in August, you are going to have to play catch up, Sagittarius. You're going to have to go back and do something that you should have done before, or prepare for something that maybe you even prepared for it years ago, but you gotta sort of refresh your skills, or you're going to have to apply for something again, or just play catch up in some way. Now, there's a good reason for you to do that, Sagittarius, and that is that by December, by your birthday, you're really going to be on the road to success. Because I think some sort of idea that you have by the time of the Aries solar eclipse, which trines your sun, is going to grow, and you will be thinking about starting something over, maybe something that you hadn't finished in the past. And you might be not going back to the past because people's standards change and people change, and you are going to have to play catch up to become more relevant in your pursuit of a goal this year. And so that's fine. You can do that over the summer and in the early fall, because by your birthday in December, you are on the road to success. And so it's going to take extra work. That's fine if it gets you there, and it can this year. Remember, 2024 is a number that reduces to 8, the number of success. I didn't say that it was always a easy straight shot to success this year, but people, if they want to be successful, they could have different reasons for doing that. A Taurus should do what they love this year, not what's going to make them all the money in the world, but just what they love, because eventually that will make them money. But their happiness, they're under wonderful aspects for happiness. You are under wonderful aspects to succeed at something that didn't quite gel before. Or maybe you were so busy doing something for a long time, you never had time to really develop an idea that you had that you always wanted to do. Well, this year you're going to get the chance. And even if you have to play catch up, or you have to increase your skills in some way to qualify for a good opportunity, you really should do it this year, Sagittarius. Because, you know, solar eclipse in Aries trining your sun means that it's like a green light. You're going to get good news. And so you've got to go for it this year, Sagittarius, even if you have to make up something in some way. So, okay, do that. Because by Christmas, you're going to be just fine. And that's good. Remember, starting over doesn't mean you go back to any failures. It means you learn from your past mistakes, and then you start something over again and go forward. And that's the direction you need to go in this year, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Capricorn. Capricorn, you are sort of on a journey this year. Think of it that way. And that is because, Capricorn, we just had a new moon last week in your sign, and that was a new moon that indicated that we needed to face grim reality because Mars was exalted in your sign and Pluto was at the 29th degree of fate. And so, believe it or not, even though the sun and the moon were in your sun sign, Capricorn, that was just the first new moon that you're having this year. On December 30th, you're having a second one, and that will give you an idea of how far you have come on your journey, because you'll be much happier at the end of the year than you are now, Capricorn. And one of the reasons why is that you may have the opportunity this year to keep your hand in. And by that, what I mean is that there could be a part-time or temporary opportunity coming up for you, Capricorn, that you really already know how to do, that you've already had training in. You could do it with your eyes closed. I mean, it's not a challenge, but it is something where it sort of renews your skills and gets you going in a way that is very familiar to you, and it doesn't have to last. And as I said, it could be part-time or temporary because Jupiter is in Gemini, and that's what Gemini rules, is short-term things. But that then can sort of help propel you forward, Capricorn, toward things that are more important to you. In other words, sometimes when we just relax a little bit and we do go back to something that's familiar from the past that we've done, a skill of ours, okay, well, it doesn't take a lot of brain power since you already know how to do it, but still, it can act as a refresher or a stimulant to get you to think of new things that you want to do. And so you don't, even if you're doing something part-time, you don't have to stick with it forever. But it can propel you and get you thinking of how you can use new skills to start over in a new way. And that journey is what you're going to be on this year. And by your birthday, at the end of the year, you're going to be very happy with where you are, Capricorn. You might not have achieved all of your goals, but that wouldn't bother a Capricorn. Capricorns persevere. I mean, whatever obstacles they face, they just keep going. And so you don't have to reach total success by your birthday. But you do have to realize that this is a wonderful year for starting over. This is a year to look for new opportunities. And this is a year that when you might want to keep your hand in somewhere, just to reinforce or give you confidence to go forward and try new things later on. Is what you will be able to do, Capricorn. I mean, last year was a year when you had to sort of prepare for things. And this year is a year when you're going to be rewarded for that. If you've been working hard at preparing yourself for something that is better for you now. That's the point. For all of us. The reason we're starting over this year is to do things that are better for us now than they were in the past. So we're not exactly going back to the past. Even if we're trying something that never got off the ground before, but now we're deciding to try it, that's fine. But we're different people now, and that's fine. If anyone was going to be a success or try to be a success, this is the year that they should do that. And you too, Capricorn, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Oh, Aquarius. Well, you know, you've got a new moon coming up next month in your sign in February, and it's a pretty good one. You also have something even bigger happening in your life, probably for the next 20 years or so, and it is that Pluto is coming into your sign. Now, later on in the fall, for a couple of months, it'll go back into Capricorn, but it's spending the majority of the year in your sign, Aquarius, and then for many, many years after that as well. And that is going to give you a growing sense of your own power. And so you could be experiencing this spring, even as early as next month, some sort of delayed delight. And what I mean is that something that you had been dreaming about or hoping for or wishing for that hadn't happened yet, and maybe you even gave up on it, no, it could still show up, Aquarius, this spring, and that would represent a delayed delight. And I think that that can be heading your way. Your life really opens up this year, and it doesn't close. Okay, so you have to be prepared for change, Aquarius, because the world, all of us, have never seen the effect of Pluto in Aquarius. We're going to see that in the next 15 or 20 years because Pluto is so slow. That's how long it takes. It doesn't have a steady orbit. It can be in a sign for 15 years, or it can be in a sign for 20 years or 19 years. I mean, it takes its time getting around. But that's because Pluto represents deep truth. And it also represents people in high positions of power. And that was especially true when it was in the sign of corporations, government agencies, and institutions, which was Capricorn, where it has been for about the last 20 years. And so, you know, big government and big corporations are not going to get quite so big anymore because Pluto's leaving Capricorn. Okay, so that growth period is over. Even if it was slow, powerful growth, it's over. And when it comes into your sign, Aquarius, it's going to give us the power of truth about new things that we invent or envision or even happen in space. You know, all the things that your sign rules. So we're heading into the future, and Aquarius, you're going to be right at the front of the line for a long time to come, 15 or 20 years. But particularly by this summer, when Jupiter goes into Gemini and trines your sun, and Pluto is in your sun sign. That is going to be fantastic. And then there's 2 eclipses in Libra, and they're going to trine your sun sign. This is a year, Aquarius, when your life expands. Okay, so yours is a fixed sign. And I hope you are thinking of doing a little house cleaning this year, Aquarius. You do not need to own everything you own, or you don't need to be keeping around relics from the past. Your sign rules the future. You have got to sort of pare down your life in one way or another so that you can make a new beginning and go forward in the future. Because your life is going to expand and change this year. And I would say that's why it's a good idea to think about starting over in one way or another. Maybe just do what you've always wanted to do. Maybe this is a great time to just go in that direction. Find out what is out there. Don't be afraid. You're going to have new partners this year, and maybe you don't need all the old partners, or maybe you just need to move. Maybe you just need to make a change. But your life will expand, particularly in the second half of the year. You're going to be busy in the second half of the year, busier than you can imagine right now. But it'll be fine. And you may be doing something where you are sort of in charge of it. Even if you didn't intend to be in charge of it, you would end up being in charge of something in the last half of the year. And that would be just fine. So get ready for expansion, and I would say don't take a lot of baggage with you. Wherever you're going, you got to fly, Aquarius. Just get going in a new direction. This is the year to do it. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, there is this spring, Pisces, you're going to be very busy. And you're going to be busy in a way where you're sort of dusting things off. It could be ideas that you have, or it could be new directions that you've been thinking about going in. Okay, so that's great. You can be busy. This summer, you're going to be on cruise control, Pisces. And I mean, you're just going to cruise through summer, doing a lot of things that you really enjoy. You're going to have a great summer, Pisces. Just completely on cruise control. Even if it's just things that you've done before or you did when you were a kid, you're just going to sail through it, Pisces. And so, you know, you're going to have a chance by September, when there is a lunar eclipse in your sign, to understand that you are able to achieve a solution to a problem. Maybe even a problem you've had a long time. There will be a solution. Or if you've had something wrong with your health, there could be a remedy to that. And you would certainly be wise to take advantage of that. That would be great. There could also be an answer to a prayer that comes later on in the summer or in the early fall. And you would love that. And so, Pisces, you're really going to be on the road to happiness this year. Now, I didn't say there wouldn't be a few bumps in the road, and particularly around that November 1st new moon in Scorpio, when there's 2 major planets, Mars and Pluto, which are the rulers of Scorpio, in exact opposition at the 29th degree of fate. Something's really going to be finished for you this year, Pisces, and you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to say, gee, I'm glad that's over. Or, gee, I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. Whatever it is. So, Pisces, like I said, this summer you're on cruise control. You're just going to be having a ball. But this fall, there will be a change and a finish. possibility of a new partner, even a move, anytime. That could happen spring, summer, or fall. But you are going to be definitely on the road to happiness by the end of the year. And I think, Pisces, that you might even be a little quiet about that because you are so happy. You might even be afraid, oh, if I talk about it, it'll go away. No, it won't, Pisces. Something is definitely finished for you, but I would say there's a better replacement. There's something better coming. That's why something else finished. There's not room for both, and something better is coming your way. And you don't have to hold your breath. It's real. It'll be with you. You're going to be, Pisces is always a little afraid that things could end. But something's not going to end. You're going to start over and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So good luck. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show by subscribing to it on my Karen Campbell YouTube channel, so I wish you'd do that and tell your friends about that. But also, you could read my blog on my website, STARBORNinstitute.org. I'm real sorry that my computer crashed for about a week, but I took it to the doctor and it's in better shape right now. So I think that we're back on track. And I wish all of you a very happy new year. This is the year for you to start over. This is the year for you to realize you're going to have a lot of opportunities this year to go forward. And I would say there's really no reason for you to resist. Just go forward and try things out. And have a very good summer. I think everyone's going to enjoy that. So I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.